In a broadcast world ruled by reality TV, the Kardashians have long set as queens. Now it looks like Bruce Jenner wants his turn on the throne. No, the tabloids have been circulating rumors for years that something's going on with Bruce. He's changing on us. And people have swept it under the rug. Now, 65-year-old Olympian has come out in a public television interview stating that he is changing over into his true self, his female self. Now, Nerdy, I know Bruce Jenner is one of your all-time favorite heroes. What do you think about this situation?
You say he was my all-time favorite. He was a big-time Olympian. This man was a great athlete, and it's amazing to see him go through this, whatever you want to call it, transformation, self-identity awareness, whatever you want to call it. And what's getting me, that's okay, but why is it becoming public? That is the key. Is this a publicity stunt? What do you think of that?
Well, I don't know. It very well could be a publicity stunt. And, my first thought was that's a heck of a midlife crisis. That's something that's so major to happen when you're that age. Maybe it's something that's gone on his whole life and he's always felt this way or whatever. But and it's not my position to judge. I can't judge the man's gender identity, his sexuality, because just in all honesty, I don't understand it. But I do think in all of these issues, whether we're talking about Bruce Jenner, whether we're talking about your basketball players, football players, movie stars, rap stars, their sexuality is none of our business. If you're not sleeping with them, why do I care?
That's a good point. Let's see what he has to say on that.
How are you doing?
He's 6'2" tall, welcoming, and a little apprehensive.
It's going to be an emotional roller coaster, but somehow I'm going to get through it. Come into my house. Yes.
As we sit down, the person whose face has changed so much over recent years is quiet, knowing the moment that carries you forward can also mean no way back.
So Bruce Jenner is?
Bruce Jenner is, I would say I've always been very confused with my gender identity since I was this big. I look at it this way. Bruce, always telling a lie. He's lived a lie his whole life about who he is. And I can't do that any longer. So can I take my ponytail out? Yeah, why not, huh? We're talking about all this stuff.
Let it out.
Yeah, let's take
Let
the
it
damn
out.
ponytail out.
A symbolic moment after 65 years. In a sense, we start again.
Are you a woman?
Yes, for all intents and purposes, I am a woman. People look at me differently. They see you as this macho male, but my heart and my soul and everything that I do in life, it is part of me. That female side. As of now, I have all the male parts and all that kind of stuff. So in a lot of ways, we're different, okay? But we still identify as female. And that's very hard for Bruce Jenner to say. Because why? I don't want to disappoint people.
Man, whatever, bro. That's a damn shame that man. I mean, what do you think of that interview right there?
It's upsetting to me, not because of his sexual identity. I mean, he said in other interviews that he's not gay. He still wants to have female relationships. So I honestly, I cannot say that I understand how you can say that you identify as a female, that you want to be a woman, that you're truly a woman, but your goal is to have sex with women.
That's what he was saying. He was saying, now when she mentioned something like that, he said, well, see, there you go again. In the interview, he says, mixing sex with this identity. He was saying, oh, it's just for my identity.
Well, then if that's his identity, this is your identity and your sexuality. This is something that's real confusing, but that's for him to figure out. That's for him and his family and the women he has married, the damage he's done to their psyche, the damage he's done to his children's psyche. Because as a child, how can you ever look at anything that he's ever said to you, even if it was something that's upbuilding and a good life lesson, as anything that's true and worthwhile? I don't see how that happens. But my main objection is this: he's a hero. He probably saved many lives. He was considering suicide and all of these things. And at the same time, other entities like TMZ interviewing black people say, oh, this would never fly in the hip hop community. This is not a race issue. This is a man who has had issues his entire life, and it took him 65 years to get up the nerve to do anything about it. It has nothing to do with race, but the media will always play that.
Now, you gonna drink some water?
Gotta
You know
put my
what?
pencil down and drink some water, yeah.
That's the saddest part about all this. When Kris Jenner is involved, nobody's gonna believe anything. Okay, anything that goes on, everything that this Kardashian clan does is going to be considered a publicity stunt. Now, I don't know if he's really going through all this stuff he's talking about, which I don't care. What I don't like is what you mentioned. Now his kids got to deal with it. Now, unless he told them years ago and they kept it a secret. Maybe his kids kept it a secret all this time. But I'm sitting there going like, man, you 65 years old. Now, they show a part. We didn't show it, but they show a part in the interview where maybe 20 years ago or 25 years ago, he started going through the transformation, but then he looked at his young kids and he said he didn't want them to go through it. And so now his kids are grown, but his grandkids ain't, but his kids are grown. And so maybe that's why he's coming out now. I think this is the power structure behind it. You know, my cynical views. Here's what happened. The power structure have always stereotyped powerful women. You can go back to Dynasty. They always had the powerful woman manless. They always had the powerful woman lonely. They always had the powerful woman, the dominating woman. They have always tried to make her look bad. You know, in the media, that's what we do. We analyze the media. So to me, this is one of them things where everyone know Kris Jenner was running the whole shebang, right? And many times people was questioning, where's Bruce Nuts at? Now we know. Where? In a jar. Yes. So this is what happened, women, when you dominate a relationship, when you dominate the man. You have pushed him. Now, I'm just saying this is what the power structure, you know, this is my cynical side.
Yeah,
Because I don't know anything about it, but I'm just saying, I'm just making like my own conspiracy type stuff, which I always believe the power structure runs everything. So they said, they went to Bruce, they said, look, man, we can't have no white man on TV looking soft like you. So what we want to do is you to come across and go out, take one for the team.
Take one for the team.
Take one for the team, man.
Because see, if you were a black couple, we can just say that this is an angry black woman. But in this
Yes,
case,
we can't have the white woman dominating. We can have the black woman dominating, but we can't have the white woman dominating. So we want the women to see and the man to see, if you let your woman control everything, sooner or later your man is going to be putting on your dress. What do you say to that?
Bye-bye, birdie.
Now, that's something special, huh?
It is.
Now, see, y'all know I can do some conspiracy. It's crazy conspiracy, too.
Well, it's really not that crazy. It makes a whole lot of sense.
Well,
because we do see that all the time. We got all these black stereotypes. The black women, all the black men are in jail. Black women, you know, we'll talk about that even further later on. But it actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then like I said, it's a conspiracy. So my camera ain't on. So all I want to say to this, to Bruce, is this. Yeah, I used to look up to you, man. But I like to echo what Essence just said. It's not even that you came out and you want to cross dress and you want your identity. It's the age, man. You can't be this old and still this confused. That just don't look right. That's why I'm thinking it's a publicity stunt, because the way he prepared in all those questions. He answered all those questions pretty good. Well, no, it's not about sex. It's about identity. So anyway, on that note, Bruce,